Good morning and welcome to Simployer TV streaming live from Oslo Business Forum through OBF's channel. We will have some of the speakers from the stage visiting us during the day, so stay tuned. Now let's talk about making technology with people and not for them. And I am very pleased to welcome Kirah to our Simployer Studio. Good morning.
Good morning.
You are not a techie yourself, but yet you're all about the importance of making technology relevant. Why is people so important in tech?
Well, it's because people create technology, but also the people who are going to use the technology. If we do not focus on what's relevant and meaningful and relevant to the people who are going to use it, it's not possible to make technology work.
But you have some history of showing that the human side is important. You contributed to the Windows XP and MSN that all of us know and use or used. But how was your role important in such a techie thing like Microsoft?
Well, I think you're asking a very good question. As an anthropologist and a psychologist, I have no technology background. And it is not that I could do something better than the technologists, but it was working together with the developers, with a business analyst. And when we worked together, we squeezed the essence out of our understanding of looking at things from different perspectives, and you squeeze out the essence and end up with much better solutions.
And Kristian, my colleague from Simployer, we make HR software for people through our HRM system, Simployer. Are we good enough thinking about the people actually using our software?
First and foremost, I think we will try to make software with the people and not for the people. I think it's a bit of a rhetorical question. We can, of course, be much better at it. And I think it's analyzing people, analyzing their behavior, and making systems that people really want to use rather than being forced to use. It should be our goal.
What's your take on that?
I think that's very relevant. I think in desirability is one of the key indicators. And it's also, it's not just desirability, it's also because in certain situations we have to use software, for example, expense reporting.
Yes.
Which
not
is
very much fun.
No, it isn't. And you know, who wrote the book that said we couldn't have fun doing expenses?
Yeah.
And it's totally possible to make that an enjoyable experience, one that we want to do, and that has a benefit for both the company that is enforcing this or the government that's enforcing it, and it's also a benefit for the person who has to do it.
Yep.
So learning and understanding those mechanisms is crucial and critical if we're going to make a difference in people's lives. Because
Absolutely.
Today I don't believe that it's all about productivity and efficiency.
It's about more, and you're all into design as well. How important is design in technology, software, for instance?
It depends on how you define design.
Yeah.
There are many who define design as the interface, and I tend to say what I do, the interface, making something beautiful, is like getting married to the most beautiful man or woman in the world. And the user experience is about making that marriage work.
But using that same picture that you painted right now, if you meet the front, you need to have something more than just a beautiful facade.
Correct, and that is where the mistake often happens, because it will look nice, but in fact it's still unusable.
Yeah.
So being able to understand how a person is going to interact with the software, we often think, and I hate the word user.
Yeah.
This is one word that just, it's almost like a Tourette's reaction. I get... And the reason I'm so against it is when we think user, we're thinking about a person using the software that we created, and that's their life. But it's only a tool for people, and they have so many other things happening around it.
Yeah.
And if you understand the context in which one is using the software, context is far more relevant than the actual software itself.
I think observing the people when you develop software and see how are they actually working, how are they actually performing their jobs, that's what you're going to digitize. There's way too much focus, I find, on all the features and functions and
Correct.
making it look beautiful and all those things, but it's the actual workflows that you need to digitize.
Correct. And it's fun to see where those areas break down,
Yep.
and also where we have made an improvement.
Yes, absolutely.
But I must say, in fairness, I think people who create technology or create the software, they do not aim to fail, but they want to make the best product ever. But why do they still keep failing knowing all of this?
I think it's because they don't know all of this. I think what happens is that we are educated into an area, so a developer learns how to code, and an anthropologist learns how to read context. I'm not a coder. You know, I still think coding is magic.
Yeah.
I still don't, I cannot conceptualize in my head what they're actually doing. You know, so they're magicians. But the magicians need to work together with me, and I need to work together with them. So it's called transdisciplinary thinking. And this is what we're lacking, is truly understanding that we need to work equally together. There is not one of these disciplines that deserves to have a higher stand.
What we're also seeing in our company as well is that we went from having a very small percentage of designers and people actually looking at the way the workflows are set up, to increasing the amount of people working with analyzing the usage, analyzing the workflows, and really starting to make software that is with the people and not for the people.
But this brings me over to something that I know is one of your favorite topics.
Yes.
Humanity versus technology. Is it possible to merge these, or are they competitive?
I don't think we have a choice. I think we have to merge it. And I think that we glorify technology far too much. And that we should see that technology is an enabler, but no more than that, instead of looking at it as the solution itself. We need to solve much larger problems in a context of a company and its employees, but they are in relationship to the local community and the nation and the world. And we need to see that context as we move forward. So we need to be building for resiliency in a world of turbulence and change.
We have to end on that note. Thank you, Kirah and Kristian Kolstad, for joining me. And we will be back live from Simployer Studio during this conference.